It's beginning.
No.
Okay. That pisses you off every
That
single
pisses
time.
me off every time.
I think I've made that intro at least 5 times, and every time you go, no. Why do you hate Christmas, man?
Well, no, actually, what I was widowy thinking earlier, like literally, like maybe 5 minutes ago,
Okay.
was that I can't wait for it to be Christmas.
I can't wait for it to be Christmas either. I was literally thinking that 5 minutes ago. Wait,
no.
no, this is real.
Guys, it's been a little bit.
And
so
it's going to continue to be a little bit.
The heck's that supposed to mean?
It means we're not back on the wagon.
Let's be real, guys.
We're not going to claim that we're back.
We got to hit 100 in person. And then if we move to...
Okay, yeah.
If we move to digital after 100, that's fine. But I want to get to 100. What is this, 97 or 96?
97.
So we're close. We can do 3 more after this. Come on now. We got to lock in.
Can't do next week. Can't do the week after. Can't do the week after. And then I'm gone. Then it's digital.
Alert.
So, yes, guys, the rumors are true. This place is going to be no more. It's being blown up.
Blown up to smithereens. Yeah, they're absolutely obliterating this place.
We're getting a new podcast set on July 1st.
Yeah, each of our respective... Discord is our new podcast set.
Yeah. Unfortunately, guys, we're going to be moving in together, so we're going to go digital.
So, yeah, we definitely don't want to be...
less podcasts.
We definitely don't want to do same room. Guys, we're not moving in together. I would never, ever.
But I am moving, and I'm unfortunately no longer across the street, and so these are going to primarily go offline. Wait. No, this is real. They're going to go primarily online, and, we'll have a offline one here and there. But it's not going to be every single episode if we want to make these consistent. He's going to miss me, and that's fine. But
the neighborhood just got a whole lot better, baby. Yeah!
The neighborhood I'm moving into.
No.
Yes.
This neighborhood, because you're leaving and we're getting a safe injection site. That's awesome.
I guess who... And Lindsay's moving in. So that makes it even better.
That made it worse.
No, made it better, man. What do you want, a text or something?
I was told that she doesn't listen anymore, so we can say whatever we want. I actually said to her, I was like, I'm going to say something on the podcast this week that I'm going to get a text about. And she said that she stopped listening because we keep saying too many inappropriate things. Truth. So because she said that, I told her that I stopped swearing for her.
Yep.
And now...
She's watching.
So
she watches them.
So I'm going to get a text now.
And you're going to get a text. Yep. Also, when is a safe injection site happening and where?
Well, I don't know when, but I was told that it's happening literally right on the corner right next to the subway station.
And what, they're tearing down that building?
No, they're just making that building into...
What about all the people that live in there?
They integrate them in.
Oh, they are all druggies.
No. Like everyone who is living there gets a new roommate. So it's like one...
That's dope. And they get a cut on their rent or no?
No, rent is going up.
Oh, rent's up. Okay.
But they get a free crack pipe. Yeah.
Wish I'd known that before I signed the new lease, but whatever. And where are you getting this information?
About the crack pipes?
No, about the injection site.
My loving fiance,
and
who I trust
where is
dearly.
she getting it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I trust her as a source.
Sounds reliable. Wait, I'm going to challenge that. I think you're lying. I think she's lying. Not like mistaken. Like, I think she's lying.
Yeah, I think that you should challenge her.
No.
She is wont to lie.
That's epic.
Like, she lies to me all the time and shit. Like, she's
okay.
A big liar.
Like when she said yes? That was a lie.
It was a prank, bro.
And is she going to have her fingers crossed on the altar?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I do.
Dude,
no,
I can see
them.
Fingers crossed.
I can see them.
Wait, are crossed fingers, like, is that legally Like, is that legally binding? And like, if she's got her fingers crossed,
fucking no, don't do it.
if she's got her fingers crossed as she's signing, she's holding the pen like this.
I can see your fingers are crossed, idiot.
What does that mean? Does that mean that it counts or it doesn't count? Because you know what they say. Always the first one doesn't count. The second one
counts.
So,
first one doesn't count. Second one counts.
there is so much hair.
Well, that's true for me. So, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been great.
Well, what I was going to say before we hop into our topics today, a lot has changed since we last did a podcast.
Yep.
I quit my job,
Yep.
started a new job.
Yep.
We had our Florida trip, and it was dope.
That was dope.
The Leafs are out.
That is dope. I didn't think it was, and then I was reminded why.
Yep.
Trying
to think of anything else. Well, there's things happening with you, but the podcast will be out by the time.
Yeah. So we'll save that.
We'll save that
one. But I am moving out.
You're moving out.
And moving in.
But that didn't happen while we were gone. I mean, you signed a lease.
I never said anything on the podcast until right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying you didn't move. But you did get a new place.
But it's happening, and it's happening on the 1st of July. Or July.
Well,
and
I guess
wasn't confirmed.
But I guess, are you planning on like slowly getting stuff over, or
no,
like 1st of July you're trying to be sleeping
6th.
there 1st of July?
6th. Because the
6th of July.
The 1st is a Tuesday. And I have work to do, man.
That's Canada Day. Dip. Shit.
Or sorry, okay. Well, yes, you're right. Either way,
you hear that, guys?
1st of July, they're having like people.
They're having people.
People move in for that week.
They're having people over that day, so you can't move in.
They're having painters and like contractors coming in and making sure the place is right, and they're changing the walls from pink. Thank God.
I went
off-white.
Mackenzie and I went to go see townhouse.
Yep.
That we were thinking about moving to potentially. A little too small for like, I don't even think we'd be able to fit our current furniture in. So it was just a little bit.
There, then?
Well, we're not going to.
Okay.
But we went there, and the walls were also pink. And they were like, the landlord said that they were open to the tenants painting the walls. And I'd be like, but then Mackenzie was like, no, I actually really like.
Oh, hell no. Y'all last tweaking. Yeah, no. They were like, your Rockstar can, but like, but the opacity was turned down a bit. So like, it wasn't
you could see through the walls?
Yeah, the wall opacity.
The wall was transparent.
Yes, it was translucent. No, like, it wasn't as thick of it was a bit whiter, but it was like that shade of pink. So it was a bit more muted, but it was that shade of pink. We will not be doing that. No, we will not. So it's going to be off-white themed.
Millennial beige.
No, it's going to be off-white themed.
Did you pick the color?
He said off-white or light gray, and we were like, any chance we
off-white or light green?
Any chance it could be off-white? And he's like, yep, sure. I'll put in a recommendation that
would
it's
you
off-white.
like
no promise.
sea foam green or orange?
It's like orange. Yep.
So
I thought you were going to go somewhere else.
I also thought, but then my brain couldn't compute where I was going with that. So
and the biggest news of all, we hit 225 on bench. Yeah. So
were you at 1,000 subs prior to the last recording?
Maybe not. Also 1,000 subs. When was that? 1,100.
You got your first 53 cents from YouTube.
No, I'm at like $13 now. And I'm at like, 1,080.
You can do that full time, I think.
I'm at 1,080 subs already.
Hopefully it snowballs.
Well, I can tell it already is. I am getting 1,080 in.
When can I poach fandom off of your page? Start my own shit.
When are you going to represent me is the better question.
At this point,
You're looking for talent.
At this point, I need anyone.
I'm
Hey, so if you're watching this and you're a talent, you want representation?
I'm looking for
guy.
talent. Or sorry, I am looking for representation and you're looking for talent. Perfect.
Perfect. And we can make millions. Think about it.
We could. Technically, there's nothing stopping us.
Yeah.
But
we're going to be
will we?
rich.
No. Wait. We're going to be rich.
We are going to be rich, guys.
What else is new? Nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we're literally nothing. What else?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was that I quit.
2 gold Mewtwo EXs
That's
today.
dope.
In one pack.
Yep. So the biggest thing for me was that I quit. Said peace.
You quit again?
No.
Oh, shit.
Guys, it's well documented how stressed I was at work.
Yeah.
And
we have witnesses. We have podcasts, really.
I'm done stressing about that old job. Now I'm stressing about my new job. So it's perfect.
But it's better stress.
When we get actually set.
Mm-hmm.
It's the prospect of leaving behind all the roster and the team that I had. And then starting from scratch, that's the most daunting part of it.
Yeah.
But once you get going, once I get going, hopefully sooner rather than later, then compared to the previous spot, it will be a lot less stressful.
Good.
But it will be more stressful for the next little bit as I try and ramp things up. But the long-term goal obviously is to just be happier, which I think that
comes with money.
Well, partially, yes. But also
and God.
And God.
And Christ.
Okay. And
money? No. Christ. Money. Love.
And guys,
if you got those 3 things, what else do you need? Literally nothing.
And guys, make sure you're commenting at least the
love.
third one.
At least love. Comment
at least
love. Comment Christ is King. Comment Christ Crusaders Unite.
Oh my. You guys don't have to do that one.
You don't have to do anything.
No, they have to comment love.
Oh, you have to comment love, and you have to comment Christ is King.
You don't have to comment that one.
Okay, you have to comment Christ is Lord.
You don't have to comment that one.
Okay, you have to comment love.
You have to comment love.
Okay, perfect. But the other ones you can comment.
You can if you want to.
It's optional though.
It is optional.
But it's highly recommended.
I don't want you to use this platform to peddle your religious views.
They're not my religious views. They're the truth. I'm not peddling my religious beliefs. I'm pushing my religious truths.
There was someone who was telling me the other week that they were listening. Oh, it was the guy who we bored our dog with. He texted me while we were in Florida. He was like, "I'm listening to your podcast."
Yeah.
I was like, "He laughed."
And did he comment love?
I don't know if he commented love.
Oh.
We
should even check.
Well, if you still are sticking around, first of all, shout out.
Well, let's
Second
see.
of all, comment love, please.
Well, let's see if he commented love.
I don't think we did. We ask our people to comment love on the last one?
I don't know, but it's actually doing well.
I feel like
62 views.
Yeah, the last one did
4
pretty
likes.
solid.
The one before that, 2 before that, 94 views, 5 likes. One before that, 38 views.
Dude, are we picking up steam?
Minus 2 subs. Okay.
Are we like one of those like now we're sort of that prize fighter feel? Like we're the Roman Reigns of podcasts where we're not week to week, but when we do show up, it's like
people show
up.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh my goodness,
like
new
over
O.S.I."
Time, our videos actually the podcast actually doesn't do terrible. Like, we're averaging at least like 40 views a video.
Who is listening?
Not even average, sorry, minimum 40 views.
Please tell us who you are. We want to thank you, and we'll send you a care package.
No,
I'm going to fart in a jar.
He'll send you a care package. I will not be.
I will send you my bathwater. If you tell me, DM me on Instagram if you listen to the podcast, say, hey, I listen to the podcast, and I will send you a jar of my bathwater for free.
All right.
So, well,
I'm at $14 earned, dude.
Well, like people, like Belle Delphine did that, and she's so much money.
Was she the OG OnlyFans, bro? Like, that was when I feel like it started. Like, it wasn't really a thing.
That was, I feel like, when like the weird stuff started.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when everyone started hopping on the bandwagon and shit.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, before that, it was just like your mainstream run-of-the-mill stuff.
Yeah, she put it on the map.
And then she kind of put, like, the OnlyFans stuff on the map.
She put selling your bathwater on the map.
Should we get her?
Yeah, let's get her on first guest.
I heard there was an app.
For episode 100.
It's like, should we get her? Like, with a pitchfork and a torch and stuff.
Like
the way they try to get Shrek out of his swamp.
No, man. Let her slay. You know, live your best life. If I could make money selling my bathwater, you bet your bottom dollar I'd be doing it.
And why does that not surprise me, chat? Comment love and try to change this guy's mind. So apparently
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just water.
So apparently there's an app called Quitter.
Okay.
And it like tries to help you quit things.
Okay.
Like it probably is like an online therapy type situation.
Oh, like quit addiction.
Yeah.
And I meant like quit your job.
No. Like quit addictions.
Yeah, okay.
And apparently it's trying to buy OnlyFans and just shut it down.
I think I saw something about that.
How kind of be based? That would...
But dude, how would I make any money?
Hear me out, right? Would it... Am I crazy in thinking it would kind of be funny? Because like...
But then they would just start a new one. Like it doesn't...
But like what are all those OnlyFans models going to do now?
They would just go do it somewhere else.
Like on...
Like anywhere else.
Facebook
Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace, yeah.
They're selling
you
hard copies of...
But you can't pay for it on Twitter.
No, but there are other apps. There are other
Name
websites like it. I can't name one.
I doubt
sure
it.
There is one.
I doubt that.
Okay, let me think. There was one, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah, right. It's bookmarked.
Well, there is Foot Finders or whatever.
Okay, that's feet.
That is feet.
What about?
Yep. Can't think of any names of websites.
That's what I'm saying. None.
But certainly, maybe they would just, if there isn't one, they would simply go make one.
No, they wouldn't, because Quitter would just buy it again and shut it down.
But that would also just be a waste of money, no?
I think it would save a lot. It would do a lot of good.
How much are they thinking that OnlyFans is worth?
Couple million?
Couple million.
Couple thousand? I don't know, man. I'm obviously not a part of the deal. But I support the idea of shutting it down.
Can I broker it, the deal?
You know? Think about how many, think about how many lives are potentially ruined a day from that website on either end. Either the people buying or the people selling.
Here's what I say.
Here's no good to come of it.
Here's my stance on it, right? Get this. First of all, Jesus hung out with the prostitutes, all right?
Okay, he didn't encourage their prostitution, but
he didn't damn them.
He damned the prostitution. He didn't damn them.
So all I'm saying is I think people can do whatever they want. That's my stance on it.
Mm. Surely.
Well, maybe not anything they want. Like I wouldn't say you should kill people, for example.
Nope, you've already locked in your opinion and you can't take it back.
Damn it. You're going to cut out that second part like you cut out my thoughts on Morbius.
Yeah. I think every individual person has value. As a person, you have just as much value as the next.
But what if I'm super sexy?
Now, do I think spending the life that you've been given selling your body is a good idea? Nope. Do I support that?
Would I sell my body?
Nope.
Well, it depends.
Does that make you less valuable as a human? Also no.
Okay. There we go. That's growth.
So I can love the growth. I can.
that's step 3 on your process of.
I can
being
love
Kim
the
or Carrie.
person, but I can hate the sin. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
I can hate what they're doing, but not hate them.
Is posting pictures of your naked body online inherently a sin?
I'd say objectifying yourself and benefiting from it monetarily
Is based?
and actively encouraging lust, and
Are they?
I would say that's not good in the eyes
Is
of
the
God.
act of posting naked photos of yourself online actively encouraging lust?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Well,
Why would you post them online if you don't want people to look at it?
Because
I'm doing it for myself.
Get the because they are. It's more in the eye of the beholder,
and the beholder is God.
So like,
what do you mean it's in the eye of the beholder?
so like if you're looking at the photo, if
Mm-hmm.
if you've decided to pay for the photo,
yes.
there's 2 options after that.
Okay.
You can lust over this individual
Correct.
or not.
And how would you not?
By just being like, wow, look at that.
Okay. First of all, insane.
We are getting a
You're an
text for this.
insane person.
We are getting a text for this conversation.
First of all, if you do that, you're an insane person. Because, second of all, that's not. There's no person.
Wait, we were going to talk about Assassin's
The
Creed.
second you buy it, you've objectified them.
Have
You've
you?
put a price on their body.
They put a price on their own body.
And you bought it. And you paid the price. But you know what's crazy about that is that Jesus paid the ultimate price. And so that even if you have done this or do this, you are still forgiven. And you are still, and God still waits for you with open arms.
What if
And
I
he
put
loves you.
What if I put it in an ass blender?
And he loves you still. Okay? That's the great news. That's the best part. Okay? Even after all that, whether you did it, whether you paid for it, at the end of the day, he paid for it.
What if you didn't pay for it?
He paid for us. What if you didn't pay for it? Not a sin.
Okay, there we go, ladies and gentlemen.
No, man. Come on. You know it's lust. It's lust and it's greed.
Greed.
Well, from the...
Pot
from
of greed?
Yes, from the...
My ultimate trap
from the
card.
seller is greed. You're compromising and objectifying yourself for purely money and fame. I'd call that greed.
What if you're doing it for the love of the game?
Repent, I'd say.
Like, what if you're just like, this awesome body of mine needs to be shown?
Okay. Find one. And then I'll answer the question. Shaved. You're not posting pictures of yourself for the love of the game.
But I could.
But you're not.
I am not, for the record.
Okay, so we're back to square one. Find me someone who's doing that, and then I'll
Judge them.
judge them.
Okay.
And then I'll judge. No, and then I'll answer your question as to whether it's a sin or not.
Okay.
I would still say that that's encouraging lust. It might not be greed, but it's still objectifying yourself and saying, we know what, people know. When they post those, they know what people are doing with those.
And guys, this is what you've been waiting for.
This is the conversation you waited weeks for. Now,
And at the end of the day, what we can all agree on, what is the objective truth, is that you should be
Christ.
commenting love.
As that, oh yeah, and that. Both things of what I said and what you said.
Guys,
Love.
Just comment love down in the comments.
And the other truth is that I hit 225. On bench, 2 plates. You love to see it. Do that. How about do that? Anyone at home, do that.
I got my 250th platinum trophy. And it was Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Wow. That's awesome, dude. That's a lot of video games to platinum. That's probably almost 251.
And I'm doing that for the love of the game. I should have...
No, wish you don't have the charisma to be a YouTuber. You don't have the personality for it. Neither do I. That's why I'm not growing.
I wish that I had gotten in on that platinum trophy. I wish that I could have realized early on that would have been it. You know?
I think you've known for a while now where you could have hopped on it.
Yeah, but at that point I was already just busy with work. But I mean like years ago when I wasn't working. And
right.
my Elgato, not my
Roxio.
Elgato, my Roxio, yeah.
Right. Recording in 720p probably would have gotten you a few subs.
480 if I'm on a PS3.
480 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was 720 and then 1080 if you're on Xbox.
Maybe. I can't remember.
What a shit device.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Just horrible. Yeah, no, now the platinum stuff is so oversaturated. But you could still, I mean, if you make good enough videos, but the problem is that
they're all the same.
Yeah, the problem is that they all kind of play the same games.
And they all kind of do the same thing and have the same personality.
Yeah, so it's kind of the ship has sailed on that.
I think if you can do something that they're not doing, then that's great. But they all do the same thing. They all have the same thumbnail. They all have the same titles. They all have the same video style. They all have the same editing style. They all hate platinuming games. Like, it always ruins their life.
So I watch the ones that don't. Well, yeah. You kind of like. I kind of like there's 3 or 4 of them that I like.
Yeah. Do you ever watch multiple people play the same platinum?
If there's been enough time between.
Right.
But if, like, I just watched someone platinum Wolfenstein 2 and then another guy, I'm like, I'm not watching that.
Yeah.
Because then oftentimes what it is everyone's already done a game and then suddenly some guy's like, yeah, I just did this. It's like, bro, everyone's already done that game. Why aren't you doing, like, another game?
Yeah. Well, it takes them a while, man, to record and edit. You know. Think about how long it takes them to not only platinum the game, but also record the voiceover and then edit it.
Yeah.
You know, there's passion there, but...
Yeah. But AC Shadows was good. I highly recommend that you watch Andor.
Maybe.
Season 1, when it came out, I remember I was like, I don't get it. I don't get what the big idea is. I think it releasing week to week was hard for me to, like, keep the hype up.
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of people were like, this is the greatest Star Wars show ever. Some were even saying this is the greatest Star Wars ever, which I was like, that's crazy.
Better than even Revenge of the Sith?
Hey, that's what some people were saying.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Couldn't even imagine.
So I rewatched season 1 before season 2, and I enjoyed it more the second time around. Definitely watching it all in like quick succession or secession. I still don't know, whatever. But I definitely liked it more.
Yes.
And I still wasn't like this is the best Star Wars, but like these are really good characters, and they really made a solid season of TV off of like characters where you're like, why would you make a show out of those characters?
Yeah.
Season 2 is potentially the best Star Wars I've ever seen.
Okay. Wow. Even without lightsabers?
Even without lightsabers. So what they did was...
How can that be?
That's what you just have to watch it. Like, it was so good. And you might not think that it's the best, but like, I think even if you're not a Star Wars fan, it is objectively wonderful.
Okay.
What they did was there's 12 episodes, and every 3 episodes is a new arc that happens a year later. So, like, basically in Star Wars, do you know what BBY is?
Mm-hmm.
So the first 3 episodes are 4 BBY, then 3, then 2, and then 1, and then the end of Andor Season 2 leads directly into Rogue One.
Yeah. So there's not going to be a Season 3?
No. And the first...
Oh, there's only 4 episodes?
No, there's 12 episodes, but there are 3 episode arcs. And that's how they released them, was 3 episodes at a time. So you're basically getting like 4 movies.
So they're not hour-long episodes?
They're like 40 to 50 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
And the first 3 episodes were pretty good. The second 3 episodes were pretty good. The third arc, I was like, this is like watching a show on the same level as like peak Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Yeah. I could not believe it. I was watching it. I'm like, I didn't know that Star Wars could do this.
Well, The Acolyte. You knew from that.
How could I? Okay, so The Power of Many and then Andor Season 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Because nothing's topping The Power of Many. I sometimes forget about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, honestly. That's kind of brutal for me to forget about, like, the greatest moment. Not only in Star Wars, but I think in any TV show ever to have ever existed.
I like when shows like that are coming out because it's just like good vibes on the podcast. Just like having a new episode to watch every week and then like giving our thoughts on it. Like what we did with Kenobi was great.
Did we do that with Kenobi?
Yeah. And then when we did it with Acolyte, that was great.
Okay, well.
And I hope they do it again with something
like Star
else.
Wars?
Well, anything really.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done it with... I guess Andor was kind of coming out around like when we were going to Florida and when there was a bunch of stuff going on. But I don't know what the next Star Wars TV show is. I know that they're doing I'm pretty sure they're doing a second season of Ahsoka. You still need to watch season 1 of that.
Yeah. I still need to watch a lot of Star Wars things.
Yeah, I would honestly...
Maul.
I would honestly
when Maul comes out.
I forgot they announced that.
Yeah. When Maul comes out, that'll be...
But that might not be for a while. What's his name
still,
playing Maul?
Oh, yeah. Sam Witwer?
Was Sam Witwer... No, Sam Witwer wasn't the Darth Maul who showed up in Solo, was he? I think it was someone else. I think it was the OG guy.
Ray William Johnson.
It was Ray William Johnson.
Or Ben Stiller.
No, I think it was Ray William Stiller.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
I think it was Ray Liotta.
Yeah, I think it was. So now that we have a neutral, now that we're kind of all neutral third parties, is Ray coming on the podcast? Now that we're going to be transitioning to Discord, will he be able to join?
Oh, if it's on Discord, probably. Although I don't think he likes... We'd have to blur his Discord name because he doesn't want that out there. He likes to stay
he can simply change it and then change it back simply.
We'll figure it out.
Or, fuck, man.
Having guests probably will be easier on Discord. It'd be way easier, obviously.
Dude, that's going to be like... it's going to be like season 2. Mm-hmm. I feel like in my new place, it's going to be like when we leave here, that'll be the end of season 1.
Yeah.
And then we do season 2. Do we label them that?
No, we can just have it as season. We can just say this is season 2.
Like just keep going on the episodes?
Yeah, because I want to still have like a easy enough tracking record of like, hey, we're at episode 100 and blah.
You could simply add.
Won't be doing that.
Okay. Yeah. So that'll be season 2. So, wow. It's actually kind of awesome to think about that.
Dude, that's kind of awesome.
And then, so season 1 was kind of establishing us as characters in 100 episodes. It took us 100 episodes to establish us as characters. It was a long
established
And then now that we've
arc.
Kind of got our footing in this podcasting thing.
Yeah,
we
kind
can start
of. You
to get
maybe say that.
Season 2 is the season of guests.
Season 2 is a season of guests.
So we can get Ray,
Fabio.
probably Ray again.
We should get Ray.
Probably Ray a third time. Let's just have him on as a perma guest. As a
permanent guest. Yeah.
As a co-host.
He'll just be a guest every week.
Yeah. So, I'm excited for that, but hopefully, like, it'll be fine doing it over Discord.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out the logistics, but
I think it'll also mean it'll be easier to do them. We can get them out easier, and we can definitely have more guests. We haven't even bothered asking anyone because we're doing it on
we're not going to
11:30 p.m.
We also only have 2 mics.
Yeah, exactly. And like there's
not really
room for 2 of us.
Yeah.
And like, hey, do you want to come over to my house and record a podcast? Like, no one's gonna say yes.
Yeah, Discord.
But if like just hop on Discord, which means we can have we can have a bunch of people on now. Like we can have like anyone,
literally anyone,
like friends if they wanted to.
They're not allowed.
Okay, so
definitely not your friends.
Okay, definitely not. Well,
I don't have any friends.
So I was gonna say
I don't have any friends, and definitely not your friends.
So no friends.
So no friends.
Well, Ray. Well, then Ray.
Right.
Perfect. And
wow, that is a crackling fire.
Yeah, maybe we can have some of the longtime listeners on. We can have them call in.
Yeah, from Latvia or the Philippines or wherever they're calling.
Yeah, maybe.
Wherever they're listening in from, because they won't comment love, so we don't know who it is. Guys, comment love so we know if we can get you on the podcast or not. Guys, drop some questions down below. Otherwise, we start talking about OnlyFans. This is what you guys... We need you to interact with the podcast, for goodness sake.
Yeah, how's the chat? What are people saying in the chat?
They're saying they left ages ago.
Yeah. They left ages
ago.
They
left a long time ago. So
I thought you were going to transition us into something.
No, I mean, like, Andor was kind of it. Like, that was all
that was all you were bringing?
That was all I brought to the table.
Well,
dude, I still have to finish Platform 2.
Bro. Like,
damn,
you're not finishing that, and neither am I, and no one ever should.
Dude, I have to finish it.
Anyways, I finally started playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I like it.
Yeah, it was, like, not a bad game. By any means. Well, by some means, you could maybe say, but it's a little jank sometimes.
Why?
It's a little jank.
No more than any other video game.
You're right.
There you go.
And it's a good game.
When I was playing it,
I got the platinum trophy. I clearly enjoyed it to a certain extent.
There's some things that I'm like, okay, figure it out. But also, that's every video game ever. No video game's ever going to be perfect.
The parkour is still ass cheeks.
I haven't really been doing parkour. I wouldn't really consider when I'm doing parkour more just climbing and stealth.
So that's what I'm so okay, there is no parkour then, really. And that's like I feel like a missing portion.
I guess yes. I was thinking about that. I was like,
because in Mirage,
well, the problem is they haven't really been doing it in cities. So,
like Mirage, there was parkour opportunities.
There's no like multi-level buildings in feudal Japan. I mean, there's like the temples, but you're not parkouring those. You're kind of just climbing up them. And then in Valhalla,
Valhalla, we don't have to talk about that game.
There was just nothing. Sucks. In Origins and Odyssey, I'm sure there was plenty of opportunity for parkour there because those were in cities with buildings.
Maybe in Origins, I can't remember. I don't think so. I don't think any of the... That is a roaring fire.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the... I really think only Mirage, as far as I remember, had genuine sort of OG feeling parkour.
Yeah, I just think it's because the environment isn't really set up to be parkoured in.
The combat's meh.
The combat is
30, 40 hours in, I was like, the combat's...
I like a basic combat system. You block, you attack, you move on.
Ghost of Tsushima is still so much better than Assassin's Creed
Explain to me the difference.
It just feels more fluid. It feels like you're actually having impact on.
Oh, so not necessarily the controls, just more about how it feels.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's the same controls where you just
There
block.
just feels like there's also more to do with the combat in Ghost. Also, like, again,
Well, there's
the one problem I have with Assassin's Creed combat a lot of the time, and it depends on what difficulty you're playing on, but, like, some of these enemies you're hitting 30 times.
Oh, I play on story mode.
Yeah, I moved it down. I started on normal, and I just got to the point where I was hitting guys forever. And I'm like, okay, it's not that it's even hard. It's just taking too long.
Well, that's exactly why I don't play on anything other than story mode, is because...
But Ghost of Tsushima, you could play on, like, the harder difficulties. It's still, like, 3 or 4 hits and they're dead.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I play on story, so that doesn't really get in my way. Like, feel like the health bars are pretty normal, and I feel like the combat is great. The parrying is great. The dodging is great. And it's not like overly, like it's not just, I don't know. It feels
like
right.
Compared to the other games since Origins, it is the best combat.
Yes.
Like without a doubt.
Like this is a huge step in the right direction. Huge step.
Yeah.
If they made Assassin's Creed Hexy like this, down. I wouldn't be like, fuck, I wish they changed a bunch
I'm pretty
of
sure
stuff.
they're making you like a warlock. Like you're gonna
Holy
have spells.
shit, I don't want to do
you're
that.
You're gonna have spells and stuff.
I don't want to do that.
But it's gonna be like, you remember in Valhalla when you'd fight the witches and they'd be doing like weird stuff?
No. I didn't go on those side missions.
Yeah, I think Hexe is going to be a lot of supernatural stuff, which I'm not really excited about.
I'm not excited for that part. I think the biggest thing is, like, I think the biggest separation in the newer gen Assassin's Creed versus the older gen Assassin's Creed is the story. Yeah. I think the stories, like the gameplay in Shadows is extremely passable.
Yeah.
Extremely passable to a point where I almost
Wait, but Asmongold said it was bad.
Okay, it's extremely bad.
Yeah.
We're to a point where I almost have no complaints, really.
It's so bad I have no complaints.
It's like a little bit janky here and there, but it is a video game.
Yeah, it was like
I'm not expecting perfection.
The complaints that I had about the combat were more like things that I wish that they had spent a little bit more time making it feel not as repetitive. Like both characters have 2 finishers.
Yeah.
So like Nawe will do her little spinny backflip and slit the guy's throat. Like
those. Almost, that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
or
almost
just like stab
him and then yank him back and he. Like, that's it. And then Yasuke has 2 where he, like, chops the head off, or he'll... Or I think Yasuke has 3. He'll chop the head off when they're standing, or he'll chop the head off when they kneel.
Yeah.
Or he'll stab and shoulder tackle.
Yeah.
So, like, I wish that they had added...
But...
5 more finishers per character, so it doesn't feel like I'm doing the same thing at the end of every single combat encounter.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm glad that they added the feature to always instant assassinate, because if that feature was not in the game, I don't think I would have finished the game.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have, because I don't know who I've been assassinating that would be one shot or wouldn't be. But either way, I don't ever want it to not be.
It also made me
ruins the stealth.
It also made me feel more comfortable going into places that were maybe too high level.
Yeah.
But I feel like that would just make me really need to stealth. Yeah. Like it would really just be like, hey, like you can be here,
just lock in.
But you have to lock in. You can't just rush in.
Well, I would rather
and if you get caught, you got a piece.
Yeah, like I would rather genuine strategy than like some artificial challenge. That's just like, this is only hard because they're going to one-shot you and you have to hit them 100 times before they do. Like, hell no.
Yeah.
I'd rather like genuine, like trying to finesse around people because I know if I get caught, like I'm screwed. I can't fight my way out of this. So
I really, really, really want them to actually be doing a Black Flag remake.
And I think they are.
But I also don't want them to mess with the combat. too much.
I don't know if they would though. Like I genuinely don't know, because if it's a remake, they could do whatever they want. But yeah, I don't know. I think though the only thing is like, I mean, it just kind of depends on how you want to play. So the nice thing about like these newer games is with the higher level, you do kind of feel, if you're someone like me who likes stealth, that's my favorite part of the game. It feels higher stakes. Mm-hmm. Where like it would still feel higher stakes in the old one, because if I got caught, I would just restart the checkpoint. But it still felt like I could just take on 1,000 guys and not get hit once. And like, so there was no penalty really for bad stealth or, you know, fighting a lot of guys.
Well, there wasn't any stealth in those old games.
Right. It was barely stealth. You couldn't even crouch in an assassin game. Insane. But I think what they need to reestablish, and this is, I think, the biggest thing that would really that would really bring these games back to life, is one connecting story between them all.
But I feel like they tried that, and people are like, this is the worst part of the game.
Because they did it in a shit way. Do it in a good way. Like Desmond.
I feel like at this point, they've lost too much.
But then it's just like, so here's my problem, was that Assassin's Creed 1, you were an assassin in the Assassin's Creed very clearly. Mm. In Assassin's Creed 2, obviously, you were Ezio, and then you were Ezio again, and then you were Ezio again.
Oh, bro, you haven't been an assassin since Syndicate, I don't think.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, every game is like, how is this Assassin's Creed? Like, Origins, you weren't an assassin.
Because of the blade, dude.
Yeah, well, Origins, you weren't an assassin until the very end, when you created the thing. Odyssey, you just were a Templar.
No, you were not a Templar. You were facing the beginnings of the Templars.
Well, like, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like, it was like Origins,
there was no assassins. It was like
it was like Origins, but for Templars.
Yeah.
Valhalla, you weren't an assassin at the beginning or ever.
No. And there was an assassin.
There was an assassin who you would talk to once.
Yeah, Mirage you played as an assassin.
Mirage you did, but
and that's why I liked Mirage as much as I did, because you were actually playing as an assassin.
Exactly. In this new one, Shadows is like, how is this an Assassin's Creed game? Like, again, I'm assuming at the end there's going to be something, but it's like
there's certain story beats, but I'm not going to spoil it. But like,
so far, aside from the Hidden Blade, there has been no connection to the Assassin's Creed in any way. So if you didn't tell me this was an Assassin's Creed game and there was no Hidden Blade, I would just think this is like Ghost of Tsushima 2. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no connection. There's no overarching story anymore. Mm-hmm. There's just like these random individuals who, I guess at the end of the game, become a part of the Assassin's Creed, but I kind of liked being in it, in the game. That's what makes it awesome, is that you are, that's what made like the Ezio collection so awesome, and Assassin's Creed 1 too, was like, you felt like you were these two factions at war. You felt like it was the Assassins versus the Templars, which is dope.
But all of the early games were like that. Assassin's Creed 3, you were. Hatham was a huge
and that one
Templar.
was dope.
Assassin's Creed Rogue, which I don't know if you've played, but
I haven't, but
I highly recommend that you play it. That game, you start as an assassin. Black Flag, you are an assassin and you are facing Templars.
Yep.
I barely remember anything about Syndicate, but I know you become an assassin.
Unity is also assassins versus Templars.
So all those early ones are that. It really was like Origins. Suddenly they're like, they just abandoned.
But Origins was a good idea. The execution was poor.
Yeah, the execution
but Origins was a cool idea of like, okay, where did this all start? At some point it started. Yeah. Random that it started in Egypt. Like, that was super random.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember very much about Origins.
Like, I think it's just a random place to start, considering like peak Assassin's Creed was like, not peak like gaming experience, but like the peak of the actual Creed. Well, was Ezio, of course, but was also like during the Crusades, which is like, what a random, it just jumps all over the place. And it's kind of like, how even like in I mean, it was fresh. So it was a little bit like you could understand the jump was a little bit less, but it's like, we've been to the Middle East, and we've been to Italy,
just to say,
and
like,
we've been to France, and then we've been to Egypt, and now we've been to Greece. It's like,
but it's just to say the war. It's just to say the war has been happening forever, all over the place.
Right. The problem is we've reached a point in the story where you're no longer a part of that war.
Right, and they've kind of lost the plot,
and so it doesn't. It's a good game. It just doesn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game.
Which is what we've been saying for a long time.
Yeah, and I think that's what made those first couple games so cool. Was you felt like you were part of this Creed who was trying to kill and end the Templars, and now it just feels like each individual game has its own story, its own personal story, where like you're just trying to get revenge, and it's like, and then they just happen to be Templars.
Literally, the last 3 mainline. I can't remember if Origins did this. I don't think they did. I think they maybe did, now that I'm thinking back. All of the RPG Assassin's Creed have literally the exact same story.
Yeah.
And the exact same progression of how you play the game. There are 12 people. Again, if I'm wrong about Origins, I'm wrong about Origins. But there is a objectives menu. There are 12 main bad guys that over the course of the game you have to kill, and you'll X them off one by one in the exact same progression.
Well, I'm pretty sure. So here's the thing. I don't know about Odyssey because I assume
Odyssey, there is that.
No, but I'm saying like what I'm about to say.
Odyssey, it's more complex. There's like a ton of people.
I'm on a different thing. I'm on a different wave.
Oh, he's on a different
I'm
wave.
saying like I'm agreeing with you, but on it with a different point of like Shadows. I don't know about Mirage. Shadows, Valhalla, Origins was somebody killed your family member. You're seeking revenge on that group of people. They happen to be Templars, and now that you're in this war, you're part of the Assassins. Hey,
I mean, that's what happened with Assassin's Creed 2.
The people you're hunting, well, that was the first time it happened. It was great. And then, but that was Assassin's Creed 2, but then it led to Brotherhood, which was like a continuation of that story, not like, okay, now here's a new person who is seeking revenge on a family member, and then now actually here's a new person who's seeking revenge on a family member, and you want a third one? Well, you got it, right? Like it's always like a family member dies, I'm seeking revenge on that person, they happen to be a Templar. Now that I'm fighting the Templars, I might as well join the Assassin's Creed. Like that was literally Origins, except instead of joining it, he's starting it. They killed his son. And now he's fighting them, and they happen to be Templars. Valhalla, I think it was like your dad or your parents get killed.
Yeah, I think your family dies.
Happen to be Templars, and now you're hunting them down. And then Bassam comes along and is like, hey, the people you're hunting down are Templars and part of a bigger war. You should join us.
Yeah, except he doesn't.
And then
you're just kind of a guy or
and
girl.
then now I assume, based on those, that that's where Shadows is going. Is I'm hunting down these people, and then I'm going to find out somewhere along the way that they're part of a bigger war and that they're actually Templars, and then an assassin is going to come along and say, hey, because this happens after Ezio.
I mean, I could tell you the answer.
Like it's happening after Ezio.
I can tell you whether or not that happens.
Well, is the answer yes?
The answer is no.
Okay, well, then fuck. I don't know how they're going to connect this at all. If what you're saying, it might not even connect it, is the problem.
There are some story beats that you're like, oh, that's a reference to that. That's a reference to the Assassins, or that's a reference to the Templars. You'll see as you play. There are references to those things.
Right.
I won't tell you how, But if you beat the game and you don't do any side missions, you might be a little bit more confused.
Right.
But it's not that. Like, it's not what you were saying with this one.
Right.
This one is really literally just this group of people killed my
So they don't even end up being
dad,
Templars.
and I just have to kill them all.
Yeah, see, like...
Now, they're just locals.
Yeah, they're just like...
They're just people.
I don't know. I mean, that I'm obviously like... I don't really care too much about spoilers unless it's like a big game. Like if it's a Zelda, I don't want it spoiled, right? Like, but that's... for stuff like that. This stuff I don't really care.
But even,
much
but
I'm still gonna play the game.
But as I was playing, I never even really felt like that's where it was going. It never really felt to me like, oh, there's going to be a reveal that this group is the Templars. I don't even know like why I didn't think that, but it just never crossed my mind.
Well, because it's the word Templar isn't said, and the word
I literally
assassin
was
is
just
never
like,
said.
oh, this group of people. I was like, they gotta have to die.
Like, I think this is a good game. I don't think it's a good Assassin's Creed game.
No, and none of the past Assassin's Creed, none of the recent Assassin's Creed games have been good Assassin's Creed games, but a lot of them have been good games. Like, Odyssey was a good game.
Yeah.
You really cannot call it an Assassin's Creed game at all. Origins was... I want to replay Origins at some point in the near future.
Me too, I think. They're all on Extra.
Yeah.
So
I don't ever want to replay Valhalla.
Hell no.
I never will.
There's nothing to replay.
No. I would be interested in replaying Origins and at some point also Odyssey. Not back to back though, because they're basically the same game, just in different settings.
So
and they're large and in charge.
Yeah, so it's good. I'm enjoying it so far, but yeah, like I think the few gripes that I have, one, never make a dual character system again.
They will continue to do that.
Because I don't give a fuck about one of them. Because he's terrible to play with.
Yeah, I mean, like, really Yasuke's only role in the game for you to play is
a change up of gameplay.
Is like if you want to go guns a-blazing.
Which I hate doing, first of all. Second of all...
Yeah, and also, like, you're not alone in that opinion. Like, really, most people that I've heard talk about this game was like, yeah, I played mostly Nawe because I just want to do stealth.
Yeah. And it's her story.
Yeah.
Her story is the one that's fleshed out. She's the one who's hunting these people. He's just kind of there to help.
Yeah, like,
so, I don't want to play as him.
Anytime I really, except for like one or two occasions when I thought in my head it made more sense for Yasuke to fight them, I really would just like try to assassinate, like try to be playing as Nawe for killing the main guys.
There's like very few things that are just kind of like a weird choice. Like there was one guy that I had to kill where like it was the sun. You have to kill the sun. And you can, you have to break into the... I mean, you have to do that for all of them. But there was, like, the part where you started with Yasuke and the guy, and you had to go kill a few people. And then the next part was you went as Nawe, and you had to go, like, open the gate. And then you would open the gate, and you guys both went in. And he was, like, he was the son of the main guy.
He was in the building.
Yeah.
And
then you could either choose... So then you get through the gate... And it was the son, but it was the one where you were like the brother was helping you find him.
I just played this. I can't
remember. It was the...
But I can, like,
this
if I'm
was the storyline. The brother was helping you, and then
whose
was
brother?
Like, the bad guy. So there's the main bad guy, his son,
okay,
and then his brother was like... Remember, like, sending him letters of being like...
I'm pretty sure I remember what you're talking about.
Like, don't follow him anymore. He's bad. Come join for me.
I'm pretty sure I remember the mission you're talking about.
Yeah, so basically, you break into this castle with the brother. Mm-hmm. You see the guy head on with a few henchmen in front. The brother, like, runs up to him and, like, falls to his knees and is like, please don't do this.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
So that guy. So then, you're standing in front. There's guards. And you're like... Do you want to play as Yasuke or do you want to play as Nawe? And obviously I chose Nawe. All of a sudden, she's up on a roof and Yasuke's nowhere to be seen. I'm like, wait, now they don't know where I am and where's Yasuke? Okay, I guess That's weird.
Well, he stayed back to fight the guys.
No, okay. This is what happened. You're here. The building is up here. The guards are here, and the guy is here. You choose Nawe, and you're up here on this building, and Yasuke's gone, and they don't know where you are. It's like, well, that doesn't make too much sense.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, and then Yasuke's gone. I thought it was going to be like, he was going to fight the people on the ground. You were going to circle around and kill the guy. No. They just forgot you were there. Yasuke's gone, and you go assassinate the guy, which was weird. There was also just recently one where like I had to travel 5,000 meters just to get there as Nawe and be like, you got to be Yasuke to interact with this guy. Why would you not tell me that?
That was one thing that frustrated me, was like the side missions or some stuff would not make it explicitly clear who you, if there was one that you had to.
Yeah.
Some would say Nawe quest.
Yeah.
Some would say Yasuke quest, but not all of them. Not the side missions. You just go and you'd be like, I hope I'm with the right character right now.
No, this one was a side or was a main mission, and it didn't say anything. I got there, and it was like, must be Yasuke to talk to this guy. And I was like,
well, you can just switch there.
Okay, that's another thing. There's times when I'm like trying to switch, and it's just like, can't switch because of the gameplay context. What the fuck does that mean?
That never happened to me.
Yeah, you like one time it happened because I assumed I couldn't do it because like I was in an area where I could get caught. Like I was in a red zone. I wasn't detected, but I was in that zone. Mm-hmm. And it was like gameplay context doesn't allow for you to switch.
Yeah, if you're in the red zone,
so then I went to the yellow and was like, still gameplay context doesn't allow you to change. So then I left. Gameplay context doesn't allow you to change. What is going on? Let me switch, bro.
Well, the gameplay
what
context.
Does that mean, the gameplay context. What about it doesn't
let you make sense?
So that was weird. Though.
Yeah, that never happened to me.
And this just kind of happens because we're in Japan. Good luck following who's who. The names are outrageous to keep up with.
Yeah,
like I don't know who's who. I'm just guessing.
I got to the point where I kind of understood who they were talking, but anytime they veered away from like the main three, I'm
like, whoa,
people,
wait.
I was like,
I blinked. Who's like, this guy now?
Who this is. I don't know who they're talking about.
But that is just because they're in Japan.
Because you're racist.
It's just like is what it is.
That is because you're racist.
Well, it is because I am not. So there's those small things that are like really, but all in all,
well, what did you want them to be named? Gerald?
No. Like the names, obviously, that's just like Japan.
And now the head of Kyoto.
Like that's not a gripe,
Steven.
That's not a gripe with the game. That's just like an unfortunate situation of like I don't know who these people are. I'm trying my absolute. That's how I felt like
darndest. When the first time I watched Game of Thrones. I'm like, yeah, bro, you need to slow down and like show me a picture on screen of who you're talking about.
It's because they introduce like 20 characters at once, and they're all like these super authentic Japanese names, and you're like, these out of maybe racism. All kind of are the same. Like, not the same. Like, they're obviously different, but, like, they're all kind of just, like, a bunch of... They're, like... I mean, they're names. They're just a bunch of, like, random... They look like random vowels and random syllables... Or, not syllables. Consonants put together. So, it's, like, hard to really, like, connect those names with the people.
And it'll be racism.
No, it will not. No, it will not.
And you are racist.
No, I am not. So, but all in all, a good game, and I'm excited for the next one for sure. I'm not excited for the supernatural aspects if it's going to make us play as a Frost Necromancer. I don't want to do that, 100%. And
you know what I'm more excited for, though, is Ghost of Yote.
And I really hope that they start to connect them again, but I do fear at this point they're not going to. Because...
we might be too far gone, but you never know.
But I just don't get the point then. What's the point of making Assassin's Creed games if they're not Assassin's Creed games?
Money.
Like you saying that the ending... Spoiler. Just in case. You saying that the ending sucks, and then me also now finding out that these people are not Templars, makes me believe that the ending sucks because it just kind of ends. And there's no connection to Assassins or Templars or anything. So that is kind of... There's kind of a malaise in that's making me upset. And that's where it's like leading me, which doesn't ruin the game for me if that is the truth. Because I still want to play it. I still want to see it end. I still want to be an awesome ninja. Mm-hmm. And that is dope. And that's
I knew that the ending Because I was talking to an old talent of mine too, who played the game before me, and he was saying like, "Oh, I love this game. I love this game." And then he texted me one day out of nowhere like, "F this game, bro." Like, worst.
Is
I'm
that
like,
why though? Like, you can just tell me.
because of the ending?
Well, is the ending what I think it is, and is that why the ending sucks? Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Literally, you will be. I was genuinely caught off guard. I was like, "Oh, the game is done?"
Oh, there's no ending.
It literally just, you think you are going to be doing another mission, and it goes,
It's like a Golden Compass type situation.
and you're like, what?
oh god damn it!
But you know what they're doing. You gotta
DLC.
pay up $40 for that fresh DLC when it comes out, baby.
So
Ubisoft
continuing
rears
the
its ugly
spoilers.
head.
So you don't even kill the main guy then.
You deal with everyone in that circle.
The guy on the horse as well.
Yeah, everyone in the circle you deal with.
And then let me guess, there's like a bigger boss they end up finding out, and then you're like on your way to go kill him, and then the credits roll. Okay, so it's not quite as bad as Golden Compass.
No, but once you get there, it really is just jarring. Like, it was jarring when it ended. I was like, I am done the game. The credits are now rolling, which, by the way, I would imagine you're not someone who watches the credits of games. I usually like to sit through to listen to the music.
Bad music?
No, the credits are over 2 hours long.
You sat through the whole thing?
No, I knew that they were 2 hours long
okay,
before I went in, so I skipped them immediately.
After credit scene or no? You just kind of go back to the world.
No, I think it just kind of plops you back in, and there's like an epilogue.
And you played it?
Yeah, but it's nothing. It's nothing.
Okay, so I'm not going to do it then.
No, well,
should I?
It kind of puts a tiny little bow on some of the characters that you've met along the way.
Then. I'll do it. Is it like a Brock's funeral type epilogue where you just like kind of go somewhere and then it's a cutscene and then that's it, or it's like a whole new story?
No, it's like that. You just go somewhere, you talk to the people around your camp, and then a cutscene plays at the end, and then that kind of just puts a bow on it. You get a trophy.
I also thought I did the Brock's funeral the first time I played it. And then I was doing it this time, and I'm like, I don't really... Did I do this? There's no way I didn't. And then the trophy popped. And I was like, okay, I didn't do it. Holy shit, I wasn't crazy. And that's
I thought you platinumed Ragnarok, no?
No, not even close. Not even close. I really only played the story both times I played it. Mm. And... really good.
Really good.
Really good. Better the second time I played it.
Why was it better the second time?
Because I played it when the first time I played it.
Oh, right. You said
COD
you took a huge break.
And
right?
so I took a big break to play COD. And it was just like, I felt more like tapped in, especially playing them back to back. It felt a lot more tapped in. And I was like, this is just great.
Yo, yeah.
And then I played Valhalla and I was like,
this is really bad.
Didn't really
Oh,
need
sorry.
to happen.
Anytime you say Valhalla, I always think you're talking about Assassin's
Then I
Creed.
played the Valhalla thing and I was like, this is really good, until I got into the final tier boss. And I was like, this is AIDS. And then the final cutscene happened and I was like,
got a fool.
Cool. Yeah, the problem is that I've had seen that so many times. So I kind of knew, and I was like, that's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun little epilogue. Fun little kind of ties the Greek trilogy in with this one.
Yeah.
It doesn't end Kratos' story by any means.
No, and I am glad how it tied the Greek stuff in, because that was cool. Mm-hmm. That was dope.
I mean, like, obviously the 2018 game tied the Greek game in because you get the Blades of Chaos and like Athena's in the game and Zeus.
Yeah.
Massive spoilers for God of War here. My goodness,
buddy.
But play the games if you
had
haven't.
7 years, man.
And bro, if you just. Ragnarok is, again, like, top 3. I honestly think, Uncharted 4 for me always kind of like, because I love that game so much, it's hard to beat. But if it's not Uncharted 4, if that game didn't exist, Ragnarok would be easily my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, I think for me, story is, I feel like maybe I've reached a peak, but like as I got older, story made a big impact on whether I liked a game or not. And I think that's why I didn't really feel like I
also played that game. I was playing that game literally as Papa died.
Yeah.
Like that game.
That's crazy work.
That game came out. I took that week off to play God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in Svartalfheim. I paused the game. We had that FaceTime. And then I took a minute and like, so then when the game ends and he's like hugging Atreus and saying goodbye, bro, I was in shambles.
I was crying this time.
When I cried the second time when I played it last year too, when I replayed it and replatinumed it.
Yeah.
I was in literal shambles the first time I played that.
Yeah, I was getting emotional this time playing it. And I don't think I got emotional the first time. Because I didn't play it all the way through, and it was like there was a huge like cut in between, so it was like it didn't really.
Also, the music for Ragnarok is just like, bro. It's like like it is unbelievable, man. Shout out Bear McCreary,
yeah,
and Hosier, absolute legend, and Hosier for that, just banger for the credits.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Why did they cook for the credits?
Why? I mean, why not? It's just cherry on top. Like, So I'm interested to see how this game ends now. So basically your dad dies and then you kind of like get information and then you kill a guy and then you get information and then you kill a guy and then you get information and kill a guy, and that just kind of keeps going on until the game just sort of ends. Except this time it's not a skit in Always Sunny, it's reality.
Yes. Yeah, but that is... At least you get the credits rolling. I feel like in the last few Assassin's Creed games...
I had to search up how to get the credits in Valhalla.
The game literally just sort of ends, and you're like, is the game over?
You're like, there's nothing left to do, but the credits didn't roll.
Like, what do I...
Surely I'm missing something. And then you go on this one random-ass, out-of-nowhere, underground mission where there's all this Apple of Eden technology, and then the game ends. Where the fuck did that come from? What the fuck?
Yeah, anyways. All right, guys. It's late. I'm tired. And my head hurts. I don't know why.
See?
Probably the
caffeine.
Probably the energy drink, bro. It's killing me. It's killing me. But guys, thanks for listening to this episode. Thank you for being patient as we really just, we were in the trenches trying to come up with compelling things to talk about. And I think it paid off, like huge conversation points during today's episode. And guys, will we see you next week? Who knows? But now that's the joy of this podcast.
And I think actually next week we'll have some big news to share on my end.
I have some big news.
So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new so you don't miss out on any of that.
And guys, purrs.